another one.
So, hey guys, we're not disagreeing. I wasn't disagreeing with you either. We're just taking it from like two, and what I'm saying might be more on the business to consumer aspect of it. I don't know, but I was more familiar with the business to consumer aspect of it. All right, let's see. Over here. Let's go. All right, cool. So, sprint planning, single day event, or split between afternoon and morning 2-day shifts. All right. So, I'm wondering which is more effective with an agile methodology for application development. Setting a single day at the conclusion of a sprint for all day sprint planning, for example, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. with the appropriate breaks. Well, thank you for the breaks. Having a 3-hour session on the last day of the sprint in the afternoon and a separate 3-hour session the first day of the next sprint morning. I know which one I think works, but I'd like to hear from everyone else. Well, I will be more than happy to answer that question. Let me start the clock. So for me personally, I hate long drawn out meetings, right? If the meeting is, all right. So real quick backdrop, right? The protocol for like sprint planning and stuff like that is supposed to be for, I think 2 hours for every week of the sprint, something like that. And so that means if there is a 2-week sprint, it should be 4 hours? But I've heard of some sprints that take like the entire day. I don't know if that sprint planning day includes the sprint retrospective and the sprint review, but if not, then I would say 8 hours in a sprint, in planning a sprint is a long time. I'm not sure how many stories are trying to get packed into those 2 weeks. How long are the sprints? If the sprints are 2 weeks, then 8 hours, even though that might be the suggestion, that is a lot. And you know what I think also happens? I think what also happens is that in the sprint planning, they might also be pointing stories, negotiating stories, and all that type of stuff. The one thing that I've done, and like not that I've done, but the teams that I've worked on, we have had sprint refinements, and we have had like pointing the stories before we even get to the planning, so that we have a good game plan of what we're going into, so that we don't have to spend 4 or 5 hours planning out a sprint. We know, like right now, our sprint planning takes about 90 minutes. And that's because we have some fun in the process, right? But I guess I need to know for Scrum Masters who actually have these whole 8-hour planning days, what is the break? You know what? Let me look it up. What happens in a 8-hour sprint planning session? During a in an 8-hour sprint planning session, a Scrum team collaborates, defines the goal of the upcoming sprint. So we do that in about 20 minutes. Select specific product backlog items to work on during the sprint. We do that in about 20 minutes. Estimate the effort required for each item and creates a detailed sprint backlog. Why do you create a detailed sprint backlog? So what? All while ensuring alignment with the overall product vision and prioritizing the most valuable work to deliver within the sprint timer. Okay, that makes sense. This typically involves discussions between the product owner, Scrum Master, and the development team to collectively commit to the work they will complete during the sprint. So I would say that the team that I work on, it is more engineering led in the work we're going to do, but it is product manager influence. So they say, okay, this is the direction that we need. This is what we need built. You guys figure out how we're going to build it, right? But I guess the part that I get stuck on is creates a detailed sprint backlog. So are they adding more stories during the sprint planning? So let me, because usually what we'll do, so maybe that's why our sprints don't go on as long, because like we're not writing all the stories together. So it might be the way that the sprint teams are working, where they are cataloging, like, all right, hashing out all the news stories together. Because what we'll do is, if you are in charge of a project, then you'll write your stories, you'll write your acceptance criteria, and then in refinement, we discuss it with the team. We say that it's ready, and we point it. We do our sprint poker, and then when it comes like time to prioritize the work in our planning, we say, okay, this is what our sprint goal is. These are the stories that are going to help us accomplish that sprint goal, and then we talk about that, and we just move on from there. So, but I would say, I would say this: if you cannot shorten the amount of time that you're spent in a single day, then maybe it is better to go into 2 separate meetings. Maybe a 3-hour session on the last day. If that includes your sprint review and your retro, maybe if that's part of that planning day includes I call it Scrum Day, but if it includes your sprint review and your retro, maybe do that on the last 3 hours, and then in the morning you do your 3 hours to do your actual planning, where you're setting your goals, you're setting your backlog vision, what you're going to accomplish in the next 2 weeks. So, and I think based on how long your sprints are, you can figure out the length. I also like want to explore the topic that I heard from Robert. I think it was Robert T. Martin about 1 week sprints, to see because people said, oh, that would be like so much time being spent on planning and stuff like that. But he's like, well, if you are doing 1 week sprints, then your planning sessions should be a lot shorter as well. Which I'm like, that's interesting. That's something to explore. But not right now. Let's wrap that one up.
For hands to pull me up, I fill my own glass, I drink my own cup. Failures fuel the fire that sets me free. Every spark, every flame burns brighter in me.
I called the shots, but they ran away. Promises made, but none would stay. So I turned the mirror, and what did I see? The only one I trust is me.
I stood alone when the world turned gray. Hope shattered like glass, dreams led astray. But I picked up the pieces, carved my own way. Now it's my voice, my game, my play. I'm betting on me, I'm taking the lead. No one else can match my speed. I replace them all, now I'm the key. The world's in my hands, I'm betting on me.
I'm betting on me, I'm taking the lead. No one else can match my speed. I replace them all, now I'm the key. The world's in my hands, I'm betting on me. Tired of waiting for a no-show crew, so I built the dream with my own view. Brick by brick, I carved my lane. Through the storm, through the pain.
I'm betting on me, I'm taking the lead. No one else can match my speed. I replace them all, now I'm the key. The world's in my hands, I'm betting on me.
I'm betting on me, I'm taking the lead. No one else can match my speed. I replace them all, now I'm the key. The world's in my hands, I'm betting on me. They vanish like shadows when the sun appeared. Left me to battle my own darkest fears. But I turned the silence into my cheer. Every loss was a step to get me here.
I'm betting on me, I'm taking the lead. No one else can match my speed. I replace them all, now I'm the key. The world's in my hands, I'm betting on
betting